happen. All right, Paul.
This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 at 5:55.
Brought to you by Slapsticks Comedy Club. Slapstickscomedy.com for tickets. Stand-up tonight, improv and stand-up tomorrow night. Open mics on Wednesday or on Thursday, karaoke on Wednesday. They're serving food now, so food and drink available at Slapsticks Comedy Club. Also, I'll be there August 6th and 7th.
Do you ever accidentally say the wrong name?
The Slapsticks?
On your comedy club. You ever?
No. I mean,
it went right over your head. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, no, I don't. Number 5 of the top 5 Baylor scenarios, some bizarre super conference matchup, which I don't think is going to happen, but so these are the scenarios that are possible. And I would say some bizarre super conference mashup. This is not going to happen. This is the 5th best thing that I think that could happen.
So you're talking about 6 or 8 of the teams in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And the UCFs, the Houstons, and all the names might be. Cincinnati, Memphis, what? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 4, the AAC. I actually don't think, if this is what happens, it's awful terrible. It's not the first choice, but they can win this league in most every sport. So that would be the benefit to it. The part would be the recruiting advantage drops significantly.
I wouldn't want this. If just being honest, if I'm a Baylor fan, I do not want to be non-Power 5. I think if you're an Iowa State fan, a TCU fan, any of these schools that are kind of in purgatory right now, that's a drop down. You might be able to dominate it. You might be able to kick ass and take names on a yearly basis, but ultimately it's still the AAC.
Yeah.
And for any AAC guy who wants to jump on I'm not dismissing them or anything like that. I know the AAC president had some words to say yesterday, kind of laughing at the Big 12 situation, but reality is what it is. It's a non-Power 5, so that would be a drop down. So, yeah, I think that's certainly a route that could be taken, but it's not the one you'd want to take.
No. Number 3, I think Kansas is probably going to wind up in the Big 10. That's my thought. I think Iowa State's probably going to wind up in the Big 10. But if, say, the Big 10 is less than enthused about Iowa State, go with them to the Big 10. Take the 2 best basketball schools left and go to the Big 10.
I would love it. I just don't think it'll happen.
No.
I think Iowa State makes too much sense geographically. Big Ten would be all of a sudden stretched out pretty far. Baylor would be on an island by themselves.
Yep.
And then I don't know academically if they even would. Yeah, they're not tier 1. That's the Pac-12, right?
Yeah, they're not an American Association of Universities.
So then that's a no-go right there. So that would be ideal because if as much as the SEC is probably the conference that will never die now, the Big Ten is right there neck and neck.
Yeah.
So that'd be a dream, but not likely.
Here's one of the things about the Big 12. That Texas and Oklahoma, Texas is a big, huge enrollment like Wisconsin, A&M, and others. But the Big 12, TCU's got a small enrollment, right? Mm-hmm. Kansas State, so I don't know what there is, Iowa State. But the Big 10, you're talking about, aren't most of those schools, not all, but aren't most of them like 25, 30,000 and more in Wisconsin? Mm-hmm. And those are some big boy schools.
Yeah, they're huge.
It doesn't mean you aren't competing against them now, but that might be something that would be interesting to see, the wear and tear of the size of who you're playing, even though a lot of times that doesn't matter because Miami dominated with the small private schools, Southern Cal, others as well.
Number 2, hope that Notre Dame still wants to be a football independent and join the ACC. I don't think this is going to happen. I really don't. But I do think that even though this would be a stretch, this is kind of like the reverse of West Virginia going west all the time. This would be Baylor going east. But I think they kind of do fit the vibe of the ACC.
No, they do. I think they do, and I've seen that. And I don't know if there's any interest whatsoever.
Wake Forest is in there.
I think if I could pick the ideal destination, it would probably be the ACC. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's any chance of that happening. However, they don't have a Texas imprint in any way, so maybe that would be of interest. I don't know.
I don't know if they want
the ACC would essentially have to lose a team. To me, because
thing.
Their whole thing is getting Notre Dame as a full member. The conference commissioner said as much earlier this weekend at Media Days, is they want Notre Dame to be a full member of that league. Right. That's what they want. And
so that would appear to be a long shot at this point in time. But that would probably be the scenario I would pick if I just had the free reign on a choice. It'd probably be that one.
Be pretty good places to travel.
Yeah, if there was some sort of like ping pong ball lottery where they got to move to the front of the line and pick, that's what I would pick.
That will be one day when all the dust clears and whatever where they end up might be a good question for Mac Rhodes.
Baylor Duke basketball going.
Oh, yeah,
Baylor,
exactly.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Number 1, the Pac-12 with 3 other teams, whether that's Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and TCU, or Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and Kansas State. I don't know. I mean, the Pac-12's interest in these schools, they do have that Tier 1 research problem. I mean, they have that. So I think the Pac-12 needs to kind of maybe bend that rule a little bit, inspire their new brethren to get to that level, and Baylor's on the way. But, that's the thing. One of the, if 64 is the number, there's a 65th team here that's going to get left out because of Notre Dame somewhere. And the mad dash should be right now to be number 64 or better. That should be your goal right now, to be number 64
No matter where.
No matter where, your goal should be number 64 or better, because somebody's being number 65, and the AAC is going to say, hey, free chips and salsa every Wednesday, and you can come here. That's what's going to happen. So and that's where that one of those
When you
teams
look at the number and where Baylor is as far as their strength of athletic program, I know we got to go, but you are among the 64, but that doesn't work that way. It's kind of like the pieces in the puzzle. Okay, Marquise, thank you, buddy, behind the camera most of the day. Hayden with what he does and all the ways he gets us out there on social media. Emma,